Okay, guys, so what if maybe you're not too into drawing and you're not as into some of that stuff? Maybe you have, a young one whose drawing skills are still being worked on. I would still encourage you to try the drawing, but if you're looking for a simpler project, then look no further. We're going to try this one out. Now, I may have done this before on the art page, but it is one of my favorites just because it's fun and easygoing, and I love fun and easygoing. So what you're going to need for this project, you're going to need a printout of a silhouette. I have a couple here. I have, like, this guy, and this guy might be my favorite guy. And I even printed out some little hibiscus to go around this guy because, he's tropical. I might do this one separate, do it later. Since we're doing simple, I think I might just go ahead and do this. Okay, so we're going to do this real simple. All right, so what you're going to do, you're going to need watercolor paper. Okay, I have Canson, any kind will do. If you don't have watercolor paper, you can also use mixed media. I would not use this printer paper. It's just not meant for the water, and you're going to use a lot of water with this. Okay, so you're going to want a mixed media. Minimum watercolor paper is the best option. You're going to want some watercolor paints. You can use any kind. This is just a brand that that I got over at Hobby Lobby. Their brand works really well. You're going to want a brush, and I prefer the big brushes. I have, like a set of these that are for my watercolors. This is great. You're going to want some watercolor tape. I just get this from, the hardware store or even the hardware section of Target, Walmart, the Blue Painters tape. And you're going to want some water and a cup, and you're going to want a pencil. So what we're going to do, we're going to transfer this image of this silhouette here, and we're going to transfer it over to the paper over here. So what I'm doing is I'm just using a regular pencil, and I am scratching out the outline part. Okay, so that I kind of get, way back when we used to use carbon paper. I don't know what the carbon would do mixed with water, but graphite will be okay. It can mix a little bit with the watercolors, but it's not that big of a deal. In all honesty, it's kind of gives it a little painterly type feel to it. All right, so if you really want to make sure that this does not budge, take a little bit of your painter's tape and tape that down. And then what we want to do is go over this here. Okay, so the side that we drew on is down facing the paper, and now I'm just going to trace, and as I'm tracing, hopefully some of this is transferring over. Look at that. You might not be able to see it. It's really light, but it doesn't matter. Even if you can't see it, I can see it. I can always darken it in. Okay, this way you don't have to have perfect lines. So even those who are still struggling with drawing, no big deal. And if this is for, like, homeschool or something like that, and you've got little ones and you want to do this, Mom, you could totally do this part at night or whatever when they're not around, so you don't even have to worry about them doing it. But this is just tracing. They do have like some tracing paper that you will go over, but honestly nothing is better than scratching the outline of that. Oh, so satisfying. I'm really weird like that though. And I don't know, just to me sometimes, I'm not as big into some of the technology stuff. I'm sure my kids would say that's an understatement. I do like to kick it old school, And so some of these, you know, old ways of doing things, problem solving and what, is like right up my alley. And doesn't require me to go to the store. I don't have to spend any extra money on it. I got pencils. And so I'm just going around it, mostly for you, because I can see it over here, but I don't know if the camera is picking up on it. Because again, it is pretty light. But that's okay. And this is going to be so fun. And this is one where, I mean, you can do it easily. I know sometimes I tell you, you know, oh, it's going to be, you know, you might want to break it up into a couple, classes or whatever, either during the week or even sometimes during the day, you know, let it go and then let it dry. This, you can do it in one shot. And depending upon your age and skill level, like, you could do it pretty easily, pretty quickly. You could even do a bunch of these. They're so much fun. I love doing these. Okay, so I got Mickey here. FBI, open up! I'm sorry. I mean, this outline of 3 circles, this silhouette. Yeah. It's amazing when I see some of these characters, especially, you know, Mickey, that Disney created. When I was talking about it with my kids today, because I've been doing a lot of research for this project. They watched the full cartoon of Steamboat Willie, and it's amazing how he's stood the test of time. I mean, Steamboat Willie came out in 1928, I think. It's almost 100 years old, not quite. And it's amazing how he has stood the test of time so far. I don't see him going anywhere as well. But, you know, the updates that they've done to him over the years, as well as many of the other characters, is awesome. But his personality, everything still stays the same and is just still so lovable and relatable to so many around the world. It's amazing. I wonder if Walt Disney knew what he was creating when he was creating it. Okay, so we have our outline. This is where it gets fun. Okay, so now we're going to take our big brush, and in this case, you're going to want a big brush. I mean, use what you have, but you're going to want to. I taped it down the 4 sides. You can do the corners. You can do all the way around if you want. It's totally cool. This is where you really get to play with watercolors. So what I'm doing is I am soaking this. Got my lights on. So there you go. You can see the shimmer and the shine in the lights. It goes from a dry piece of paper to a rather wet piece of paper. And this is why I said you're going to want watercolor paper here. At minimum, a really decent heavy-duty multimedia paper. I've had really good luck with the Masters Touch brand over at Hobby Lobby for some of my watercolors. Again, not sponsored, but what you want to look at for is the weight of it. The weight of the one that I was using for some of my sketches was like 110 pounds. The watercolor paper that I'm using here is 140 pounds, and that's pretty standard. You don't want to go, you know, too much less than like 110 pounds. It's just going to be too thin. You can even see right now, possibly, my paper already with all that water is starting to warp. So get yourself some decent paper for this one. Okay, now, I didn't think about it. What colors do I want to do this? Maybe I'll go and just do the traditional, like, Mickey-esque colors. I mean, you really could put anything in here. Let's just have some fun. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to put some of this in, and I'm not really caring what happens. I'm just going to let it happen and let it go. And I just want things to happen and go. Okay, this is where some, you know, the awesomeness of watercolors being such a difficult medium to work with, this is where it gets fun. Okay. So we've got red. Maybe I'll do some of our Roy G. Biv red. Orange. So maybe I'll do like a rainbow color, Roy G. Biv. Since we're doing art. And I love colors. And I love watching things blend. The one thing that you want to do is watch out how the colors are blending. Now, obviously, you can do whatever you want, and colors, you know, are meant to blend. Rules meant to be broken in art, so go with it. Just know, depending on what colors you put together side by side, you're going to get some funky colors. Complementary colors, which are the colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel, are going to wind up giving you a funky brown color. You can get some pretty cool brown colors out of it, but if you mix purple and yellow, you're going to get a funky brown color. If you mix red and green and put them next to each other, you're going to get some funky brown colors. So while if I put some of these here together, like yellow next to orange, next to red, I'm going to get some pretty colors. If I put it next to blue, obviously I'm going to get green. If I put opposite colors next to each other, I'm going to get some strange colors kind of blending around. So I've got red, orange, yellow. Now's where I'm getting to the green. So let's see. Let's try this green. Maybe I'll just let it kind of get in there too, just to get all kind of swirly and see that? Got some weird kind of colors going in there. For the most part, you can control watercolors. It just takes practice in doing it. Roy G. Blue. It just takes a little bit of practice, and the best way to practice, honestly, is just to get in there. I know a lot of people avoid watercolors because of this. It's one that you're going to have to let go. If you're going to play with watercolors, you got to let go of perfection. You just have to get into this is play mode, and things are going to go crazy because watercolors get crazy, and it's okay. Not the end of the world. Trust me, I know, because I tend to be a perfectionist. Watercolors were hard for me and scary for me to get into. Now that I'm in it, it's fun, and at times I just pull them out, especially when I'm kind of feeling like that control freak. I mean, I am a homeschooling mom. I'm kind of a control freak. But it kind of keeps my control freak at bay. Kind of reminds me I'm not in control. So, you know, I'm just saying, you need some help with that. Pull out some watercolors. Give you lots of fun. Let's see. Oh, let's pull out some, darker blues. And again, you can do any colors with this. I really have, I know it's kind of cliche. I really don't have a favorite color. My favorite color of the day or the moment is really whatever my mood is. And I think that's one of the reasons why when I paint, some of my paintings tend to be so colorful, especially if I'm in a really good mood. I just have a hard time picking one. So I pick them all. And then there's other paintings where, like the last one, where I'm like, I'm just going black. I'm going black and white and gray. And then I'll splash in some white. It's just the mood I'm in at the moment. And you never know when that mood's gonna strike. So yeah. Maybe that's what my favorite color is. My favorite color is the rainbow because I can't just choose one color. Now I'm see how even though I'm pulling the purple in, I'm keeping it, trying to keep it away from the yellow over there. Maybe I'll pull some of this in just to kind of make it look like this, kind of splashed up. Oh, it's gonna look so pretty when it's all dry. I love smearing around with watercolors. All right, so you can let this dry. You can do whatever you want. If you wanted to get a little bold, because I, missed obviously some of these colors that are here, you can splatter. Oh, I love to splatter paint. Okay, so the best ways to splatter paint. There are different ways you can do it. Fan brushes work really well. I don't have a fan brush out right now. But if you take and load up your brush with lots of paint, and this is another one you want to practice. I haven't splatter painted for a long time. But then if you kind of have something else like another brush or pen or pencil to use, you can kind of flick the paint around and you're going to get some fun, cool effects here. Let's see. And depending upon how much your thing is loaded, how hard you hit, it's going to splatter in different ways. Yeah, so much fun. I love playing with art. This is really, truly playtime. I know it's supposed to be a class, but this is really, really just play. And I hope you take some time to create something fun and awesome and playful. Because guys, that's exactly what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be enjoyable. It's art, and it's supposed to be colorful and beautiful and awesome. And you're colorful and beautiful and awesome. Go add some of that beauty into the world, because honestly, the world needs more of you. Happy arting, everyone.